It went really well.
Was she doing better than our first class with the
Much better.
back?
Much better.
What was the number, Ben?
25, 30.
Okay.
I had to go higher when like other dogs, like certain dogs, when they would bark at her, she'd get aggressive. I'd have to go higher for that.
Reactive? Okay.
Yep.
How is she doing with dogs otherwise?
It's just certain dogs.
Oh yeah, you told me last time, even with the collar, before you did anything, it was already, she changed her behavior.
Yeah, much better. Much
so
better.
when the dogs became reactive to her, then you saw some reactivity back.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay, so go ahead and show me what you've been practicing.
Come on.
And what's your number right now?
25.
Okay. Good. How is she with the lagging part?
No, she usually doesn't lag.
Okay, so it might be the environment. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
girl.
Just a couple more.
Come on, sweetie. Sweetie. Come on. Good girl. Come on.
Good. Go ahead and come to a stop when you're ready. Pretty good. Any questions? Nope. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and add the verbal cue. So we call it heal. So heal is what's going to be what turns everything on. Because last week we just said the word break, right, to like release her to from the command. So now you're going to have a formal on switch. So technically, if you walk out and there is no verbal cue, she's free. Okay. Whereas this past week it was after she's done her business. It's tap tap. Now she's on the clock.
Yep.
Okay. So now you're gonna have a formal on switch. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna cue the word heel, and then you're gonna move forward with your left leg first. Okay. So in advanced training, left leg means walk with me. Right leg means don't. Okay.
Right leg means what?
Don't move. Okay. So it sounds fancy, but it's really just conditioning the dog and being consistent with the leg that you're moving with.
Okay.
So you heel first, then move forward with that left leg. You're going to walk for a little bit, then you'll slow down to a stop. How's she been doing with you sitting?
With the sitting?
Yeah.
Very well.
Very good? Okay, cool. So then whenever you come to a stop, she's going to automatically put that butt down. You're going to wait a moment, heel again, or you're going to say heel, and then left leg, and you're going to start walking. Okay? We're going to repeat that a few times, then we'll move on to the next thing.
So I'm going to say heel, left leg forward, come around, come to a stop, and then heel, move forward.
Correct.
Okay. Sweetie.
Heel.
Heel.
So you say heel first before you start moving. Okay? So stop. Now heel.
Heel.
Now left leg. There you go. Good. Pull your left tap, keep forward. There you go. Yeah, just so she lands correctly. Good.
Heel.
Good. Tap. Good. She had delayed a little bit when you started walking. So
Should I hit tap?
So because you said heel, right? And you started walking,
Yeah.
and you went like 2 to 3 steps, and she was still sitting down. So as soon as you start moving with that leg, if you don't see her respond, just start tapping as you're walking, and she should run up.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Heel.
Yep, tap. There she goes. That's fine. Good. Good. Just a couple more.
Heel. Heel.
Yep, there she goes. Good. Good.
Heel.
Good. Good. And last one.
Heel.
There we go. Better. So when you walk out, like in public, like she walked beside you?
Yes.
Okay, so no lag. Okay. Good. Questions on that?
No.
All right. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to do left and right turns. Okay. So this past week, if Sweetie was not walking at your side, it was just an automatic 180 turn when Captain go back the opposite way, right, to correct her to line her up. Or if she was lagging, you just keep going forward and tapping there to come forward. So here, when we turn left, you're going to be leading left turns with your right leg. Okay. So people tend to try to lead with their left leg like this.
Right.
If you do that and she's right here, you need to trip over her kicker.
Okay.
So when we do the left turn, you're going to be turning at a sharp 90-degree angle.
Okay.
Like this. Okay. So if Sweetie's here, you just cut in like that. Very pronounced step. Then the left leg, and then you're going to cut in again with the right leg, and then you're going the opposite way. Okay. So heel, we're walking. You want to slow down first, and then it's going to be right, left, right. So now you're going back the opposite way. Slow down. Right, left, right. Okay. We're going to do that a few times. The left turn tends to be the hardest for people. Some common mistakes I see is that they tend to take a soft right, like a 45-degree angle, and you want to make a very sharp 90-degree cut in front of Sweetie, because for her, when you cut in front of her like this, she sees that leg here, and she doesn't want to collide with you, so she's going to either naturally stop or pivot her head to make space for you, and then you're going to cut it again and go back the opposite way, okay? And if you have problems, I'm going to coach you through it. The other turn is going to be the pivot. So the pivot is what you've been doing, except for this past week, if Sweetie got ahead, it was just pivot and turn. There was no movements to kind of communicate. Now we're going to add in movements, but these movements only apply when she's paying attention, okay? So if she is distracted and getting ahead of you, you wouldn't do the movement, you would just pivot and tap to line her up, okay? So you're going to cue the heel, you slow down, and then you're going to go left, right, left, and now you go the opposite way.
Gotcha.
So
pivot, almost pivot in place.
Correct. Gotcha. So it's the left, right, left. So it's the opposite of the left turn, because the left turn is going to be right, left, right,
Left,
and this one is going to be left, right, left. Okay. Questions? So we're going to do batches first. We're going to do batches of each turn. We're going to start with the left turn. Okay. I'm going to have you go into the heel. You'll try them yourself, and if you start to struggle, then I'm going to help coach you through it.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever you're ready. Right, left, right. Correct. And just keep moving. There you go. Good. We're going to do 4 more just like that. Right, left, right. Very good. 3 more. Good. And forward tap. There we go. Good. Couple more. Right, left, right, keep forward,
Yep.
tip. Good, keep moving. Good, and go ahead and come to a stop. Very good. So those are easier, much easier here because inside she's like lagging. So it gives you plenty of space to cut in front. Whereas out in public, if she's right at your side, that's where that slowing down is really important. Because if you just try to cut in and left turn, it's going to be so abrupt, yeah, that you're going to crash into each other. Okay. So now we're going to do the pivots. So that's going to be the left, right, left. Okay.
Yep.
Good. 4 more like that. Very good. Good. Tap forward. Good. 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 Just a couple more.
Okay.
Good, and last one. Good, and then come to a stop. Very good. So now what we're going to do here is I'm going to have you go between those 2 turns, the crossovers and the pivots, randomly, however you want. Okay? I think it'll be just fine, but so heel turns everything on. Heel's telling Sweetie, you need to pay attention. And then in response, if she's paying attention, you need to communicate. Right? So when you're out actually walking with Sweetie, you know the path. You know if you're walking to the dog park, if you're walking to the pet store or whatever, or just going around the neighborhood, so you know what turns you're going to make. She doesn't. So all these movements, we do them so that it lets her know what you're doing, so that the walk is seamless. Okay. So if you ever feel like, if you're ever like crashing into each other, the most common thing that I see is people don't slow down. They don't slow down, or the dog's not paying attention. Okay. Right now she's lagging behind, which makes all these turns much easier. But I would expect out in public, when there's a bit more going on, or when she's at your side, if you find that she's struggling with the turns, it might be that you're not slowing down, or she's not paying attention, which means our number's probably too low.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll have you go and go through those motions.
Heel. Yep.
Good. Good pivot. Good.
Yep.
Good, just a few more. Good, tap forward, good, just a couple more. Good. Good, and last one. And slow to stop. Very good. Okay. Does she down ever when you walk with her like that?
What's that?
Does she ever, like, because right now she's laid down a few times when you stop?
Only like after like never on a walk, only on a run. Only on a run when she's tired.
Gotcha. So on the runs, it's fine. If you're ever on a walk and you see her like downing like that, I'm gonna have you trap her in a sitting position. The reason is, like, she might be downing because she's tired or lazy or something, and it's nothing bad, right? Like, however, it's a break from the command.
We want her to be in this position all the time.
Correct, right? When in the heel, right? When in the heel, because the way the dog sees it is like she's supposed to be doing this, right? But then she chose to do this. So since she chose to do that and it went like without consequence, then she might choose to like be reactive or choose to pee whenever she wants, or choose to poop whenever she wants, right? So once we cue the word heel, it's like clocking in the work. That's her task at that moment until you release her. Okay, so she's supposed to sit when you stop, follow your lead, walk at your speed, no pulling, right shoulder to left leg. Okay? So once you cue that word heel, it's very strict. People tend to like think like, the dog will be ahead of them, and they let it go, and they'll say like, the dog's so much better, it doesn't pull that much. Like, but it's not about how much they're pulling, it's about right shoulder, exactly, left leg. It's very strict, because then we start adding in a little bit of a gray area, and that gray area is what causes a lot of confusion for dogs. Okay, so it's super black and white. When we come to a stop, you put your butt down, nothing else. If she looks tired and you want her to lay down, just cue the word break. And at that point, it doesn't matter what she does.
Gotcha.
Okay, but at least there's a very clear distinction between the heel and the release so she can lay down. Okay, so heel is a two-part exercise, right? So last week we worked on teaching Sweetie to follow you, essentially, right? That's what all that back and forth was about.
Yep.
And now I essentially taught you how to use your body language to communicate with Sweetie. This is
Which
what
way
we're
we
doing.
want to go.
Exactly. Okay. And they don't seem like much, but these movements are very important. So like turning left, we lead that with the right leg, turning right, we lead that with the left leg, okay? If you're making a simple soft left, you would just cut with your right leg, and then you just keep going that way. If you're making a soft right, you would just turn with your left leg and go that way, okay? So you're still leading with the leg opposite, but you're not having to do like the complete turns. The reason why we teach the two between the crossover and the pivot is, let's say you're on the sidewalk. If you do this, these turns correctly, like if you do the crossover, it fits right within the space of a sidewalk, okay? As let's say you're walking with Sweetie, this side is taking it up, right? You don't have space here, but you have space behind you, you can go into a pivot, okay? If there's people behind you, you can't pivot, well, you can do the crossover, and then you can go back the opposite way, okay? So that's why we teach the two types of turns. Remember, if she is passing you or getting ahead of you, you always just do the abrupt 180 turn and the tap. There's no need to do the leg movements, okay? If your intention is to left turn or stop, very common for people, they'll slow down and the dog will keep going because they're not paying attention. So they'll pull the dog back and then they'll go into the turn. And I'll tell them you don't want to do that because the dog passed you, that's not paying attention. You want a 180 pivot, tap, go back the opposite way, okay? So even if you're going to come to a stop, because people just think, well, I'm going to stop anyways, it doesn't really matter. I'm like, well, if the dog's in the heel, it does matter, right? Because you're supposed to be stopping in unison. So if you're coming to a stop and then Sweetie keeps going, you would turn, tap, tap, turn again, slow down, and try to stop, so then you stop together, okay? So here, going to correct, lightly up, tip, there you go, just like that. Okay, so here, you don't say sit, you don't say heel, just light pressure up and you tap, and she sits back up. So she just learned, if I lay down by myself, there's a correction, there's no warning. So in order to avoid the correction, she's not going to want to break the command or go into that position, okay? Questions about any of this?
No.
So whenever you come to a stop and Sweetie's in a heel, her job is to maintain that sitting position until you release her or until you start moving again, okay? So if you stop to talk to somebody and you're there for like 5-10 minutes, whatever, talking, technically she should hold that sitting position for 5 to 10 minutes, okay? So if you were to start feeling like this going on, this tells me, oh, if you're in a position, you would tap her bring her back in, up, tap, to put her in that sitting position. I don't say heel or anything like that. The reason why we don't say sit, of course, is because then it creates two separate commands. It would be heel, and then when you stop, it would be sit. Okay? And then you're saying heel, sit, the entire walk. I just say heel once, and I only say it when we go from stationary to moving. Okay?
And I should be doing this after, like usually when we take her out, after she pees, put her in the heel.
Yeah. After you're done with that stuff, you can put her in the heel. If she's really good with the heel, you can even heel her from like your front door out to the potty spot. Stop. Okay, break. Let her go potty, and then when she's done, heel again, and then walk. You know, your usual walk.
Go girl.
Questions? Other questions? Good. So pretty easy. So what we're going to work on now is the stay. Okay. So the way I use stay is different from most trainers. Usually it's a sit, stay, down, stay, or like go to your bed, stay. And so sit down in place or go to your bed all have implied stay. I don't have to say anything. I just say go to your bed, and the dog goes there, and it's expected that they don't leave the area. Okay. When I do use the stay, it's when the dog's already in position. So right now, what command is Miss Sweetie here on?
She's on healer.
She's on a heel command, right? So she's not in a sit, she's in a heel, but the sit is built into that command. So a lot of people look at this and they go, oh, but that's a sit. I'm like, no, what's the last thing you said?
Yep.
And they'll say heel. I'm like, the dog's in the heel, okay? So that's the distinction here. So if you were to start moving, Sweetie's inclination would be to move with you. So here, I use that stay to help her differentiate between move with me and not moving with me, okay? So what we're gonna do is, since she's on your left side, you'll use your left hand and you're gonna just go like this and say stay as you wave your hand over her. And you're gonna pivot out using your right leg, one big swoop, so now you should be facing in front of Sweetie.
Okay.
You're gonna wait a moment and you're gonna come back, okay? Now when you're doing this, you're gonna wanna have your leash shorter, and because when you step out, because she's done a lot of heel, she might think to move with you, right? So as you're stepping out, you can counter her with leash pressure if needed and up and tap to put her butt down.
Okay.
And then you continue the rest of the movement.
Okay.
So if she gets up, you freeze, correct her,
Okay.
wait a moment, and then continue with what you're doing.
Okay.
You want to prevent Sweetie from getting to you.
Okay.
Because for the past week, tap is meant come here.
Yep.
So when you're doing this, when you tap her, some dogs will assume like, oh, I'm supposed to go to somebody, I'm supposed to go to you. So that's why we need the leash shorter, so we can up and tap to keep them away from you. Because if she moves into your personal space, she's thinking that's what she's supposed to do. Okay? So I'll have you first put her in the heel, you'll walk around, and then come to a stop, and then you'll go into the stay. Okay?
Heel. Please. Heel.
So yep, correct that, good, yep. That's fine, yep.
Stay.
Good. And back to her side. And then you're gonna praise her, good girl.
Good girl. Good girl.
Good. And we're gonna do that 4 more times.
Heel.
Good pivot, crossover. Good pivot.
Stay.
Good. Good. And praise that, a girl.
Girl, you're a good girl.
Good. 3 more.
Heel.
Good crossover.
Stay.
Good. Couple more.
Heel.
Good.
Stay. Stay.
Good. And one more.
Heel.
Good. Crossover. Good.
Stay.
Good. Excellent. And praise. So what you're going to do now is same process, but once you pivot out in front, you're going to pause for a moment, and then you're going to walk around the front half of Sweetie. Then you'll land back in front of her, and then back to her side, praise, and then heel. Okay?
Heel. Stay.
Tap, up. There you go. Good. Yeah.
Stay.
Pause for a moment. There you go. Up, tap. Tap.
Stay.
There you go. Good. 4 more.
Good girl. Heel. Stay. Stay.
Up, tap. There you go. Tap. There you go. Good.
Stay.
Good.
Good girl.
3 more.
Heel. Stay. Stay.
Good. Couple more.
Heel. Stay. Stay.
Good. And last one.
Good girl. Heel. Stay. Stay.
Tap, tap.
Stay.
Good. So what we're going to do now is you're going to go for a full circle around her. Okay. Now, a very common problem here with dogs is when you start to approach behind them,
because they're kind of bullies, they'll get up and move. If she gets the moves up half like you were doing, however, if she pivots and stays on her butt like this, like it's like a swivel, I don't correct it. Because it's technically still sitting, right? And that will fix itself once she realizes that you're just walking around her. Dogs tend to like stop it. So you're only tapping if she actively gets up or if she tries to lay down.
Okay. And I want to get up to do a circle around her.
A complete circle, correct.
Heel. Stay. Stay.
Walter. Good.
Good girl.
Good, yep, praise. We're gonna do 4 more.
Heel. Stay. Stay.
Good. 3 more.
Heel. Stay. Stay. Heel.
Good.
Stay. Stay. Sweetie. Stay.
Good, 1 more.
Heel. Stay. Stay.
Very good. So what we're gonna add in here is you're gonna do the same, stay the same. You're gonna come in at the end, you're gonna praise her, and I'm gonna have you put more energy into it.
Okay.
If she gets up during that praise, be ready to tap on your collar to correct her.
Okay.
Once she repositions, you'll continue with the energy, and it's just correcting each time if she picks up her butt. And then you're gonna step away, but you're not gonna repeat the stay. Okay? So you're gonna say stay, walk around, come back in, good girl, a lot of energy, correct any breaking from position. Then you'll stand up and you're gonna step out again. Remember to use that right leg
Because we haven't released her from her command.
Correct. So that command is in effect until you say break or you were to give a new command.
Got
Okay. So anticipate that when you do get ready to step away, you want to have your leash shortened up just in case, because I'm thinking she's distracted. She's going to want to follow. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Heel. Stay. Stay. Good girl. Yeah, good girl.
Good. Good.
Good girl.
Good. We'll repeat that 4 more times.
Heel. Stay. Stay.
Good. Very good. 3 more.
Heel. Stay. Stay. Good girl. You're a good girl. Good girl. Yeah.
Good. 2 more.
Heel. Stay. Stay. Good girl. You're a good girl.
Good. Good, and last one.
Heel.
Yep, good. So, questions on that? So, what I typically have my clients do to practice this is I don't really do stay sessions like this. I do to teach you, and now you've got a good concept of it.
Right.
Is when you go on your walks, let's say you go on a walk and you hit a red light, while you wait for the red light, stay. Practice the red light. Okay?
Just be conscious of keeping her on her command.
Correct.
And if she's on heel, keep her in those guidelines, otherwise she'll think there's gray areas.
Correct, right? So then just remembering which command she's in. It's like right now she's still in the stay, right? So you get the red light, she auto sits, you do the stay, you do the walk around or whatever, coming in, petting her, there's gonna be more stuff going on. Mindful of the environment, people walking dogs, all that.
Yep.
Maybe after she poops. So a lot of dogs, when they poop, will when the owner's picking it up, will start to pull.
Yeah.
So then what I'll tell them to do is after the dog poops is just up and tap to put them in a sitting position, cue the stay, and then the dog should stay as they pick up the poop. Okay. Some people like to do it within thresholds, or if they're walking through a building or something, they'll say stay, and go through, and then say heel, and then start moving with their dog. So just finding little places where it applies to you, or you feel like you can use it. For me, stay is the least useful command, because most people either would say sit down or go to your bed. Okay. So the way this works is, let's say, we cover teaching her how to go to her bed area, right, as a command. And then you see Sweetie laying in her bed, and she chose to do so. Because she chose to do so, she can leave whenever she wants, of course. But then if you decided, hey, I need you to not move, you would cue the stay. And now it becomes a place command. Okay? So right now she was in the heel, right? She was in the auto sit. Then when you said stay and you walked away, it then became a sit. Okay? So her job is to not move. And you can do this with a sit, a down, or when she's on her bed. If we've taught them, so she knows how to do the sit. So we can do the stay over the sit. At some point we'll go over the go to your bed command, and at that point you can use it over that one. You wouldn't be able to use it over a down position unless we've taught the down through e-collar. Okay? Because then if you tell her to stay when she's laying down and she starts to get up and you try to correct her, she's not going to know what to do because she's not been formally taught with the e-collar on how to lay down. Okay? Questions? Tim? Wait a moment. Yeah, good. If she were to break out of position, so let's say you had her to stay here, and you move, and she starts to go over, she gets up and walks a few feet away, you would tap and use the leash pressure to lead her back to the general area. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? The general area, without any command or repeat, she should put that butt down. Once she puts her butt down, you wait a moment, and then you continue with the movements like you were. You don't repeat the command, okay? So I simply go straight to the remote to correct it. If you repeat, you reset the command, and she doesn't learn to not get up in the first place. So the way her brain works is if you say, for instance, sit, and she gets up, and then you say, no, sit again, you're just starting a whole new sit. Okay, so what I do is if the dog breaks position, I just automatically tap and pull up. So then she learns when I'm told to sit, if I don't keep in that position, there's an automatic correction. Okay, so then she's going to want to refrain from breaking that position because she doesn't want the correction. Okay, that's why I don't say no or anything like that. So I want the dog to learn I say it once and then I just perform. Okay, questions on that? Nope. When it comes to practicing the heel and the turns and everything, what I suggest in the beginning is once she's done her potty business, you go into heel, you do 5 heels to stops, and then 5 heels to left turns, and then 5 heels into pivots, okay? And then you start your walk. So you'll only cover so much ground, okay? So this is to get your muscle memory going. Because the hard part's going to be when you're walking with her, and it's I'm going to turn left at the corner. Now you have to time your leg movements and then cross over with that right leg. But then also, if she's not paying attention, you're going to have to correct, right? So there's going to be more stuff going on, plus people and other dogs, whatever. So I do those 5 in the beginning of every walk. And then once you feel like you've mastered those movements, then you just apply them, okay? But definitely in the beginning, it's unnatural for a lot of people to think about how they're moving because we just want. We're not used to like a dog paying attention to us and needing
It's
for us to
like
communicate.
breathing, you don't think about it.
Exactly, but now you're going to have to start thinking about it because at no point will Sweetie ever know what you're going to be doing unless you're communicating that to her, okay? There's no need for, yep. And, there she goes, good. There's no need to say anything like left or right or anything like that. That's all through the leg movements, okay? So what I'm going to have you do here is go ahead and step out and walk around. She's still in that stay. Good. So that's something I like to do. It's just like if I put the dog in the command and then, talk a little bit and then step out again, it's still an effect. Okay? So for the next class, we'll be covering recall.
Okay.
Do you happen to have a long leash?
Like I have a retractable.
You have a retractable, so you're going to want to get a long, I think 30 feet is the perfect length. You don't have to have it for the class, we have ours here to use.
Okay.
But you do want to get one for yourself to practice with. 30 feet, I think, is the perfect length. I think 20 is a little too short. Anything above 30 can be a little too long. And it's just a regular nylon leash like that.
Gotcha. So I can practice like
Comb and
low.
cutting.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so if you go on Amazon, these are maybe $8 to $12.
Okay.
Nothing fancy, nothing expensive. And then you don't need to have it with you. We have ours here. And this will allow us to start doing the recall stuff. Let me think here. Any questions?
No, I'm just, I know I just gotta make sure that I do this every time I go out, make it a habit so that it becomes second nature.
Yeah. Once you get used, I can't expect the movements in the beginning, and I was awkward like anybody else. But I've done it so much, I've been doing this 10 years, I can't do it wrong. My brain fizzles when I try to do the wrong thing. With the reactivity stuff, for instance, when a dog, you said when she'd come react when the dog barks at her, right? Yep. She actually started standing back. I don't know if you saw it. She was sitting back up again.
She saw me go up for it?
No, she was going to lay down, and right when I said tap, she had started to go up. So she'd become reactive when other dogs barked at her, correct?
Right.
Okay. And then how do you, did you just tap and she shuts down? Or?
Yeah, I did. If it's too low, she won't react. I went up and then she'll
Stop.
Yes.
What was the highest you had to go?
50.
50?
Yeah.
Was that like you tried lower and then?
I was at 30, and I was at 30, then I did 35, and then I was nothing, and I went straight to 50.
50? Okay, and then she stopped right away. So what I would do is whenever you're going to come by a dog that you think is going to be reactive, or you can just even assume.
Okay.
Because sometimes the people's dog will look fine, and their dog will react last second, right? Because I'd already have it at 50. Okay. Just remember that once that dog is passed, or that moment is passed, to go back down to whatever your typical working number is.
Okay.
Dogs behind fences, I'm not sure if you come across that.
We actually right here, there was 2 pit bulls that were snapped right at her. She had no reaction.
Oh, good. Because I'll say if I have a dog that reacts towards other reactive dogs, if you ever come across one behind a fence and then she's becoming reactive, you can use that because it's controlled.
Gotcha.
Right, the dog behind the fence and all that stuff. And then what you'd want to do is ideally you would tap her anytime she tries to lunge, and you just walk back and forth until she's walking by and she's not. I don't need to be perfect, but not tense. Right, she's going to be uncomfortable because they are barking at her, and I don't worry about having to walk right next to the fence. You can give some space, whatever, make her feel
Just so
more
she has a
comfortable.
reaction to it.
Correct.
And then you have something to correct.
Correct. And then once she's dialed down and calm, I want the last thing that she remembers is I walked past dogs barking behind fences and I was calm. So the next time she sees dogs behind fences, it's not that she won't react, but it'll just be quicker. And eventually you'll walk past dogs behind fences and then she'll just be calm and not reactive. But if we end with her still, in that kind of state, that's the last thing she remembers is the next time she sees a dog behind a fence, she's gonna kick right to that. Okay? Any questions?
No?
Good job. She did really good.
Yeah, good job, sweetie. Excellent.